All right, we are live. All right. Folks, it's good to be back. I know it's been a while since we've done anything live. I apologize. We've just been busy. It just hasn't been able, between traveling, a couple other things, but we're glad to be back here. Can everybody hear us okay? How's the sound? We got a whole new sound thing going on. Our soundboard died on us the other day. We had to send that back, so we're cobbling together other sound accoutrements.
Nobody.
If you were live, go ahead and say hello. Let us know that you can hear us, because I'm still not sure that you can hear us. There's like a 30 seconds of lag that is the bane of my existence. Hey, thanks, man. Glad to be back. Spent too much time down in Guayaquil, Ecuador.
Oh, he says you sound good.
Which is Guayaquil, Ecuador. I'm pretty sure is like the Detroit of the South America. It's getting dangerous down there. I was in 2019, and thanks, Julio. Julio, is this your first time on our live stream?
I don't think so. That pic looks familiar.
Does it?
Yeah.
You're just a sucker for a Hawaiian shirt.
That's true. Anyway, it's getting dangerous down in Guayaquil.
Yeah, it's like completely different than... Thanks, Brandon. Yo, what's up? Brandon, where are you coming from? Where are you hailing from? Yeah, anyways, so I was there in 2019, and it was pretty safe, but the drug cartels definitely took advantage of COVID-19, and it is a completely different place down there now. We'll wait a few more minutes, let a few more people show up. We got a lot to catch up on. I just posted a video a little while ago to YouTube. I got another one that I shot that I'm ready to post. I definitely want to talk a little bit.
He's the guy we sent the phone to Puerto Rico. See?
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's right.
Yeah.
Julio, yeah, your whole setup, man, just came out really nice. I'm really glad that worked out the way it did. Charles Winters, good to see you, buddy. Buell, Minnesota. Buell? Is that Buell? Is that how you say that? Or Bull? Bull. Bull.
You're butchering it.
I actually don't think that's a silent H. I think that's one you're supposed to enunciate.
Oh, man. See, even the internet couldn't stand it and cut out for a minute.
Yeah. Couldn't take all the greatness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, I definitely want to talk a little bit about, we'll talk about some of the gun violence, and I'm getting ready to post I don't know, I guess really a rant on that. And you guys check that out. If that's something that you'd like to share, I wish you would. I think it's something that needs to be said. And we'll get a little more into that. Benny Ballistics, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. We'll talk about some long-range rifles. I got one behind me that I'll end up throwing up on the table. We will talk about that, as well as some suppressors. We got a new courses coming on. I think for those of you that are local, and even though you're not, we still got a lot of clients that even fly in from West Coast. We got a client flying in tomorrow for our tactical carbine course tomorrow from Colorado. So just because you're far away, don't be afraid to...
He and his wife,
yeah. Coming to tactical carbine tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about that. They're great clients, good people. Always like hanging out with them. So take a trip up here. We're right here about an hour and a half from D.C., so you can come up a day early, go check out D.C., go see where the center of corruption of the world is. Go check that out. They got a big tower that Washington Monument that lets you know right where it's at. Yeah, and I also want to talk, big thing with this, and this is always, there's the weird form of talking to a camera, and then there's this other weird form, both of which I'm not used to, right? I've spent most of my life teaching in front of people and having that interaction. And, ¿qué pasó, Adalberto? I spent 2 weeks down in Ecuador. I'm pretty much bilingual now. No big deal. NBD. Yeah, man. There's a lot going on there, a lot of different elements that, and we'll get into. But my point is, going back to this strange, I resisted. For those of you who don't know, we've been running Paramount since 2015 was our first training season. And I knew, YouTube was kind of a forum that we should be on, and I resisted that. I'm not the biggest, was never the biggest fan of YouTube because of all the stereotypes that come through there. A lot of people on there spouting a lot of stuff. They have no operational experience, no instructional experience, and they're saying a lot of things that I think point people in the wrong direction. And not only that, the motives, right? The moment that you show up on YouTube, people start questioning your motives because it is money driven. It's product driven between affiliate links and things like that. So we try to insulate ourselves from some of that. But the point is that, this is a really strange forum, YouTube in general is. And then when we get on this, I feel like I'm still kind of acclimating and trying to figure out how to manipulate this space when we do these live streams. And my point behind all of that is to say, it definitely helps to turn this into a discussion, not just me up here talking or Summer up here talking. She talks too much. She talks over me. Doesn't let me get a word in edgewise. But, we definitely want this to be a conversation anytime that we're doing these live streams. That's what it's for, so that you guys can ask me questions that maybe came up in a video or something you're thinking about. And as well as, I just want to hear, we got a lot of people with a lot of experience. Benny Ballistic says he's former LEO. I love to hear that perspective. And again, everybody here has a lot of experience in a lot of different arenas that we can all learn from each other. And that's what this community is about, is figuring out how we can share ideas, create a like-minded community, and not just up here hearing me talking a soapbox all the time. Bill, what's up, man? Good to see you. What's going on, Willie? Glad you made it. Who else we got up here? Anybody else we missed? All right, so let's just jump right into this. So I don't know what topic to handle first. You know what? Let's do a little show and tell. Let's do that first, and then we'll get to the more serious stuff at the end. So you guys will be seeing, and Ediberto's on the live stream. This, folks, is the MPA PMR Pro 2. You guys will be seeing, I'm going to do a very in-depth video with this. I've gotten permission from Ediberto, who owns this rifle now. We're going to be mounting a scope, doing some other things to it. I just remember a few years ago looking at MPA, and at the time, I know the rifles were like base bottom price at they started like $3,500. They were expensive rifles, and they're not cheap rifles now, but I think the value that they offer is pretty significant, considering that this rifle, which I think, we got the Dan Defense Delta 5 Pro up there, and that rifle costs it was like $2,700 when you get the FDE. The black one comes in at $2,500, but the tan one comes in a little bit higher. This rifle, as it sits, was $24.99. With that, you get a button cut rifle. You get a button cut rifled barrel. It is hand lapped. There's a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to forget, but you can go to our website or go to their website, and you can see the amount of time detail. It's hand lapped. Everything is inspected before it leaves. I wish I had my overhead cam. I don't, but you can go to, I think I put a short up on the on YouTube. But with this card, it gives you all your chamber and barrel dimensions, so you know exactly what it comes to when it comes to your reloading information, your head spacing, all that stuff, exactly where you're going to run into. It gives you all the information that you need there. So a lot of attention to detail with these rifles. MPA is the #1 winning rifle in PRS, and you just get a lot of features for the money. Now, this one does have the folding stock, so that is $150 more, but man, I think that's money well spent right there. This rifle is essentially everything that rifle up there is trying to be, right? It is PRS competition centric, but you could do just about anything that you want with this rifle. It's guaranteed within a half MOA or better. I can't wait to shoot this because I think we're going to see much better groups than half MOA out of this, and just using off-the-shelf ammunition. That's what I like to test with, and I'll tell you, Hornady, the Hornady ELDs, everything I've shot those through, they've just done remarkable. I mean, the accuracy out of the box with those things is pretty remarkable. It almost negates the point of hand loading. I mean, what you're getting out of the box is just pretty remarkable. So a lot of cool options with this. We did become the moment that I saw they were offering this rifle for $2,500, I reached out to MPA. We became one of their I don't know, it's like premier platinum dealers or whatever it is, the highest tier dealer. So if you're looking for a rifle, and you want a rifle that you're going to keep and invest in and have, one rifle that's pretty much going to do it all for you, reach out to us. We'd be glad to help you. We always take care of our training clients, and we always take care of our YouTube subscribers. We'll do the best that we can with that and make sure that you get a good deal on what is already an insane value. So pretty excited about that. What I'm also excited about is we also became a Thunder Beast suppressor dealer. Can't wait to get those in. We're getting our first order in November. Most of those are accounted for. If you're looking for a Thunder Beast, again, reach out to us. There's a few that we ordered that aren't already spoken for. We might be able to help you out there. If not, we can place another order and we'll get some more in. But, again, what I always want to do, first and foremost, we're a training company. That's what it's where we're always going to be, training centric. But if you get into this business, you end up needing to carry products as well. And it definitely helps with the off season too, as just far as maintaining the business and keeping the flow of income coming. But we're only going to carry stuff that I'm really, really proud to carry. And there's a lot of items that are kind of in the same genre as some of the things that we carry that we could be selling. And we'd sell them faster because they're cheaper, and there's a heck of a lot more profit margin on there. But those aren't the items and plus we do a lot of testing. You guys that are just meeting us from YouTube, you see us on there doing what everybody else does, testing products. Folks, we've been doing that for 10 years, last summer. I've been buying gear, testing it, just because I'm a nerd like that, for one. But number two, I want to make sure that if I'm these are the questions I get from my clients all the time. And because of that, I want to make sure that we're giving them good information. And not only that, just because being in this business, you need to stay up on those things. So I've been testing gear. I'm not doing anything different other than turning the camera on. That's what we've been doing for, the last 10 years, really since I've been out of the military. So,
real quick.
Yep. It's because
okay. It's because of our jerry-rigged audio.
No, it's because I didn't turn down the audio on the computer.
Oh, gotcha.
She's hearing us, echo of us, but I don't think it's...
Sorry, guys.
If you want to run over there and just turn the volume down on the computer. So, if you guys want to talk a little bit about any of that, feel free to. Let me throw up some of these comments that we didn't get to yet. Let's see. What's going on, Aaron? Good to hear from you. Will you let me interview you on my channel this Sunday? Probably not this Sunday, Bending Bliss. We got a tack carbine level 2 on Sunday. If it's in the afternoon, I would be open to that. As long as it's after probably 6 or 7. I usually get home from the range about 6 or 7. We can do an interview on that. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. Be happy to help you out, buddy. What else we got here? Road King Cartwright. I love it, man. Where are you at in Louisiana? So, for those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Beaumont, which is basically West Louisiana, Beaumont, Texas. We are right there, about 10, 15 miles down the road from Louisiana. My 6GT is the MP chassis with Curtis Action. Very nice. Shannon, good to see you, buddy. Edberto, Gary and Summer do a bang-up job making sure you get the right equipment. We do. Like, we want to take care of our clients. I've wasted a lot of money on a lot of junk gear, and it was a good excuse to go buy more gear. But all right, let's set something up. Let's shoot for like 6:30 or so, and I'd be happy to do that, man. Ronaldo, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Ronaldo, I'm expecting your belt any second, and I'll get it all set up for you and get it shipped out. Folks,
the buy-in scare has already started. We are Lafayette. Nice. Oh, you're literally right down the road from Beaumont. Yeah, so the buy and scare has already started, folks. If you were, wait for this to come back on here. If you were looking to get any gear,
Or
ammo, guns,
30-round magazines.
30-round magazines.
Those have been
I'm
flying
telling
out
you,
the door.
folks. I said this. I said this before the ammo scare, like what was it, 2 years ago now, whatever it was. And I tried to tell everybody, and again, not so you guys see it on the consumer side, but what we see that first wave hit where we start going to all the national distributors, and suddenly things aren't there that are normally there, whether it be ammo, whether it be magazines, whether and that's where it hits first, and then suddenly we have this supply that's all these. Suddenly the supply's there, and then it's not. And then there's nowhere to go from there because the suppliers aren't getting them in. And when they do, all those things are already accounted for. People are back ordering stuff. So I'm telling you right now, folks, I don't care if it's from us or what. I'm just letting you know. This isn't I'm not trying to generate business here, although we always appreciate business. But if you're looking for ARs, parts, lowers, ammo, it's things are about to get nuts. So just be aware of that and let everyone know that little old Gary Melton warned you. Folks in the fundamentals market, how do you want me to contact you? Send me an email at gary@paramountactical.com, and then we'll coordinate from there, man. Sounds good, though. Fort Carson, Colorado. Jason, good to see you, man. Jason, your name doesn't look familiar. I guess it's your first time. So if this is your first time here, thank you. For anybody that I missed, that it's your first time showing up to the live streams. Again, thank you. And we've been having these pretty regularly. I try to do these every Friday. There was about 3 weeks in a row in the past few weeks here that, again, between traveling and a couple of other kind of hard time limits, we weren't able to make it happen. So we'll try to get back to where we're doing things consistently again.
Colorado reminded me our conversation earlier. You can't even possess a magazine. It's illegal to possess a magazine over 15 rounds in Colorado.
Yeah, so
I got some orders from Colorado for 30-round magazines that I had to end up canceling.
So pretty regularly, we and more so it seems like in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, we get a lot of orders for high capacity mags coming from California,
Yeah.
Colorado, and every other
I
place
think Connecticut.
where you're not allowed to have
Yeah.
them. And of course, we can't ship those. And then people get upset. I don't know why. They need to talk to their congressmen and women. Nice. Well, I'm glad you spoke up, Jason. Awesome. Unless you've had it since before the law was in effect.
I get maybe some in Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. I do
so
think
they were grandfathered in.
they grandfathered.
This says
stuff
it's
in.
illegal to possess.
And how do you prove that? I wonder. For those that allow grandfathered magazines or whatever else it is, if cop decides to pull you over and you have mags in your possession.
Oh, here it is. If they owned them by July 2013.
I just don't know how they would how you would prove that one way or the other.
How would you prove that you had
I
that
don't know.
magazine in July of 2013?
Yep. So again, folks, also if there's other equipment, whether we're talking about guns or whatever else, that you guys think is something that we'd be interested in carrying or we're not aware of. Again, just like anybody else, I'm a gear nerd, so I always like to see new equipment. So we always like to hear from you guys. Some of the items that we now carry, they still sell kits here, burden proof on the state. Cool. Yeah. All mine would always be before the law took into place. So yeah, if there's any certain brands, companies, gear that you guys are privy to and you're aware of that you think we'd be interested, let us know with that. All right. Let's talk about, let's talk about upcoming new courses. So I'm a big believer in making sure that if you're going to teach something, you got experience with it, right? When I first started this business, part of my hopes and dreams and what I imagined things would be that, I'm going to start this shooting company or shooting instruction company. And basically what I'll be able to do is just shoot all the time on the weekends, do all the stuff I want to do, start competing, start doing this, long range competitions, pistol rifle competitions. And then reality set in and, between orders, setting up courses, getting ready for courses, doing social media stuff, promoting the business, everything else. You end up. I probably shoot less now than I did before I had this business, right? And we try to stay proficient. We try to get on the range, and really, how I see myself now is making sure that I take care of all this stuff so that my cadre and my instructors can do their thing, right? That's really how I see my role. And one thing that I definitely wanted to provide, and we've been asked to for a long time, is a handgun or competition courses period, right? Setting you up for success and showing you competition, whether it's IDPA, USPSA, PRS. These are all things that we want to get into. I have a good friend of mine who is also very similar background as mine. He's also an instructor for a federal agency, and long story short, he's a high level shooting competitor, right? So he shoots IDPA, he shoots USPSA, Steel Challenge, a couple other things. So we've worked with Tyler. His name's Tyler Houston. He'll actually be at our course tomorrow. If you guys haven't met him, this will be the first, and most of you haven't, because this will be the first course that he's been to. But I've worked with him to develop a competition handgun course. And that course is not just for beginners. We are going to take you from the beginning to the end as far as showing you everything that you need to know if you're interested in getting into competition shooting. But also, if you're already a competitor. Part of this is a big part of that course is going to be running people through mock stages and analyzing and coaching every piece of that and being able to critique that. He is an excellent shooter. He's been competing a long time. He knows what he's doing, along with a couple of our cadre that already shoot competition. I'm not teaching that course, and I'm not going to teach something that I don't have experience with or don't feel like I'm at a high level with that particular skill set, genre, whatever you want to call it, right? So we've developed that course. I really recommend that course. Our first course is when?
July 23rd.
July 23rd and 24th. We're going to do level 1, 23rd, level 2, the 24th. And I'm telling you folks, that is a course, regardless of what your shooting skill level is, you will have a lot of fun doing. If you aren't even really interested in competition, that's another course that you will still have a lot of fun because it will take your skill set to another level. Even if you focus on the defensive side of shooting, there again, we're going to work on speed drills. We're going to work on a whole lot of different things that are going to end up carrying over and helping you improve your skill set in gun handling, period, much less, whether we're talking about self-defense or anything else. So go check out that course. We'd love to have you out, and I think you'll have a lot of fun doing that, and that's something that we're going to hold regularly. And we're probably going to start doing some competition days where we have our clients, our training clients, come, and we'll set up different courses of fire, where you can come and, basically almost like some of the culmination drills that we do that everybody loves. We'll throw that almost as a standalone competition day where we run a whole series of those. So I think you'll have fun with that. We got any questions, gripes, or complaints about summer? Awesome.
I deleted all the gripes and complaints about me.
Yeah. Good to go. They still. All right. So now that we got all the kind of the fun stuff out of the way, let's talk a little bit about. And again, please make this a two-way discussion here. Let's talk a little bit about gun control, right? And more importantly, gun violence, especially when it comes to schools, churches, and businesses and things like that. I just finished shooting a video a little while ago. I'll be uploading that. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So when I do post that, share it, comment on it, all those normal things. I think it's a message that you guys will agree with. But essentially, folks, I think we all know, we all here know that get rid of that comment for me. We all know that any sort of gun ban or infringement on our rights it's not obviously going to do anything. And just like I talked about in my video, I find this whole topic so frustrating for so many reasons. Number one, I've been writing about this for years. If you go to our blog section, I have several blogs that I wrote after several different incidents throughout the years. And in 2020, early 2020, myself and a couple other colleagues that also specialize in physical security and personnel security, we started Archangel Counter Threat Solutions. It's a 501c3 that is dedicated to ending gun violence. Because here's the thing, folks, and for those of you who don't know, I'm a former Green Beret. I've been out of the military for, 10 years now? Almost 11 years? it's longer than I'd like to admit.
Almost 11.
Almost 11 years. And right out of the military, I took a job and have been basically specializing in personnel security and physical security for the government ever since. And that's basically what I still do. And what's frustrating for me to see is to know that there are simple solutions to, especially to the school piece of this. Every single federal building that is built it's mandated that those buildings are built with institutionalized, mandatory physical security features and protocols into that structure. So apparently, bureaucrats, politicians, their lives are more important than our kids. And, understanding criminal and terrorist mindset, there's two things that they're looking for. They're looking for high target value, what's going to hurt you the most, and or as well as an easy target. And what we've done with schools is we've concentrated both. The thing that we care about the absolute most, that will hurt us the absolute most, we concentrate those assets, our kids, in one spot, and then we make it absolutely easy for anybody to walk in those doors and do whatever they want. And it just blows my mind that we don't have at least the same amount of security for our kids as we would, with some government building protecting some bureaucrat pin pusher that's sitting behind a desk. These are easy solutions. And what also drives me mad and just infuriates me are these leeches of these gun and control activists. They don't care. They're so insincere. They do not care about saving lives. They are after one thing, and that is getting the guns out of everyday Americans, out of the hands of everyday Americans. They don't prosecute the same people. They don't prosecute people that commit gun violence in inner cities and everywhere else. They let them right back out. So they don't care about lives. They don't care about actual gun violence. What they want to do is they want to remove your ability to resist the government, and it's no coincidence that these same people also happen to be, admitted and avowed communists, socialists, and they're just wholly anti-American, and they're so insincere, and they're willing to exploit these tragedies and gaslight people, use fear to push what's strictly a political agenda. They do not care about saving lives. And you look, they raise millions and millions of dollars. And what have they done? They've done nothing to do anything else. They have not been effective on the gun control portion. They definitely haven't been effective in reducing gun violence. And they haven't spent one dime of that money securing schools or making schools safer. So that is not what they really care about. What they care about is trying to take your rights away.
Says, as a European, I find it weird when bad people do bad things using knives. The media tend to focus on the person being bad and not the knives. How comes that's not the case when it comes to guns?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely, because it's a distraction, right? This whole thing is a distraction. Because here's the thing, right now we're talking about they're trying to pass specific laws, and they're trying to sell you and scare you into buying onto laws that would potentially address this specific case. Banning guns from people that are under 21 because this guy was an 18-year-old. Banning ARs because he happened to be using an AR. Well, what happens next time when it's a 25-year-old with a handgun or a knife or anything else? We didn't do anything to secure the school itself or to deny access, to compartmentalize our kids. To, a lot of this you'll hear in the video that I posted. I'm sorry, baby.
Or to stop someone just going out to any ghetto on the street, thug on the street, and buying an illegal gun.
No, or
they're going to get a gun if they want a gun.
If we all turned in our guns tomorrow, it wouldn't change a single thing, because people that intend to do evil things aren't going to turn in their guns. They're criminals. If that was the case, if laws did anything, the moment that we made murder illegal, we wouldn't have murders anymore. But and you guys will hear a lot of the same talking points here. But we just spent $40 billion of money that we don't have to fix problems that aren't ours, right? And I Googled this. There's 130,000 schools, K through 12 in the United States. And that includes private schools. That would be $300,000 that we could invest in every school. And I promise you, we spend $300,000 on schools across the country. Those schools would They would function just fine. We would have breach resistant, ballistic resistant doors. We would be able to deny access. We'd be able to compartmentalize our kids and be able to, if a threat did get into that building, they would be isolated and confined. So, we need to get serious about a real problem. And one of the analogies that I use in that video is the approach that we're taking with this is like, if there's this road that is completely destroyed, it's a terrible, unsafe road, and everybody knows it. And suddenly one day a blue car full of people crashes and it kills everybody in the car. Instead of fixing the road, all they do is ban blue cars. It is so juvenile, it's insulting, and they think you're stupid, and a lot of people are stupid, but also a lot of people are scared, and they'll just accept anything, which is why it's so disgusting to me that these people will exploit these children being murdered to push a political agenda. I find it disgusting. And I'll kind of put a pause in it right there. Yeah, they do plan on banning body armor. Body armor didn't.
God forbid you able to protect yourself from the people.
The criminals will have body armor. You won't. You won't have guns. You won't have body armor. They'll be kitted out. They'll be looking like SEAL Team 6.
I mean, look at the freaking cartels.
Yep.
They got everything they need. Yep.
So, again, feel free to put down your thoughts on some of these issues. But, if we're serious about this, then we need to approach this with this like serious people. These people are completely insincere. They're not serious at all. And, they're just, they want to sell your rights away. And they're going to use tragedy to do that. It absolutely makes me disgusted. What else we got going on out there, folks? I feel like even though I never really adjusted to this format to begin with, I feel like I'm definitely out of practice. A couple weeks, I'm out of practice.
Yes. Kyle.
Hey, Kyle, what's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy. Glad you joined us.
Yep.
What did Mr. Rojas say?
They definitely think we're stupid.
Yeah. It's surprising that,
honestly, there are a lot of people that are stupid.
There are a lot of people that are stupid.
There's a lot of stupid
But
people.
what surprises me is people that I know that aren't stupid, that I do think are somewhat genuine and sincere. This whole thing with Matthew McConaughey. I don't see him as those normal crazy liberals. I see him as somebody that has a little bit of common sense. I mean, not anymore, but at one time I did. But for him to get up there and just spout this nonsense and not have the ability to think these so-called proposed solutions, policies, whatever through, I just, again, I think there's somebody that's just desperate to do something. And that is, when we're dealing with a real crisis, that is not the right answer. You can do a lot more harm than good.
I mean, case in point, I was on Facebook the other day, and on a local Facebook page, there was a shooting at a local mall a couple of days ago, and 2 guys were shot in the parking lot right outside the entrance to the mall. The shooter ran into the mall. And there was a mom that posted on one of the local Facebook pages that her daughter was working at a store in the mall, and her daughter was so scared, obviously, and she was posted a picture cuddling her daughter and just going on and on about how we need to enact gun control laws, and that would save, kids from being scared and all this. And it's like, I'm willing to bet that the guy that did the shooting didn't have a legal gun.
He's in Maryland.
And he's committing, it was in Maryland, and he's committing a crime anyway. He has no regard for the law. He doesn't care. So whatever law you pass is not going to freaking help.
Maryland has some of the strictest gun, and again, 90% of all, gun-related homicides are taking place in those places that have the strictest gun laws there are. Politicians are surely not approaching the issue in good faith, but how many of the people that listen to those politicians are just in panic mode and doing illogical things? Well, I will also say, I'm going to take some of the benefit of the doubt. The Democratic Party has turned into a cult. There's no doubt about that, right? So they're just in such lockstep with whatever they're
brainwashed.
The current talking point of the party is at the time. You come out with the craziest thing and they're pretty much going to support it just because it is now a religion to them. So there's that. And I think a lot of people just get, and I know people on the right do it too. They get attached to one or two issues that they really like. and they haven't really thought through a lot of some of the other ones. So they align themselves with their hot topic issue with a certain party, and then their favorite politician, they pretty much go along with whatever they say on all those other issues that they either don't care about or it's not a big concern to them. It's those hot topic that kind of indoctrinate them into the fold, and then they just stick with whatever else.
Just off topic for a second. Fat and bald 9-year-old said, "Hey Gary, will there be a fitness episode?"
There will.
Asking
There
for
will
a friend.
also be a hair regrowing session as well. We're gonna cover you on everything. No, look, folks.
It would be a fun episode.
hair growing.
No, fitness. I'm good with growing hair. I'm good with that.
Luckily, I have lots of problems when it comes to not getting younger, but so far the hair hasn't been an issue, thank God. It's definitely something that we probably don't talk about enough. Summer and I are both very. We try to stay fit. It's important to us. We try to keep our boys fit, and between that and the screens, it's sometimes an uphill battle. But
And that and work for us, honestly.
yeah, working, we get so caught up that next thing you know, we haven't went and worked out for a couple of days. But fitness is very important to us. It's definitely important to self defense. It's probably one of the best things that you can possibly do. So for a lot of different reasons. What did Kyle say here? And Ronaldo, I think
Yeah, we're behind a couple of comments.
that's all right.
There's a quick headline that a lot of politicians and media rely on to carry their argument to those who do not have the time or patience to pay close attention. That's true. They throw it up on a headline and someone reads it and believes it.
Absolutely.
Yep, mental health issue. It affects a lot. And homeless.
We have a mental
issues,
You're not wrong,
addiction
Ronaldo.
issues.
I think, and maybe, we definitely have a mental health issue. I think there's obviously lots going on that contribute to this problem. It's obviously when we get to the causation, there's definitely, that's when things get complex. I think the solution goes back to what I just talked about, security. The solution to stopping these maniacs is not that difficult, but the causation is. And, I always go back to, I think mental health, I think that gets it's true, but it's also one of those kind of catch-all. And I think it takes a lot of responsibility off of a lot of individuals out there. And what I mean by that specifically, I think, honestly, one of the greatest impacts when it comes to this is two-parent homes, and the fact that we've completely removed morals and teaching morals. And we've gotten to this, where everything kind of goes, everything's okay. We've gotten away from teaching people just general morals. And again, I think a lot of it comes back to the two-parent home. And quite frankly, I throw a lot of that blame on the Democratic Party. I think the Democratic Party, their policies, the things that they push, when they're advocating and telling moms that, you don't need a man, your kid doesn't need a man, those are so
That if
damaging.
you're masculine at all as a man, you're aggressive and you're bad and you're horrible and
Absolutely.
it's crazy.
So, I think just that right there there's an underpinning there that it starts to just unravel the fabric of our society, because regardless of where you are on the political or even religious spectrum, I mean, there is no doubt that having a two-parent home is one of the most powerful things for an upbringing of a child, their mental health, as well as wealth and equality, right? So that is something that is not being pushed enough. It's not talked about enough, and I find it. And again, I think the Democratic Party holds a lot of responsibility in that regard. They want people reliant on the government. That's where they get their power from. That's where they get their votes from. And they will push these policies in every way they can, and with no regard for how it affects society, how it affects the everyday lives of Americans. The only way to get utopia is with control, but utopia with control quickly becomes dystopia when those around you think they know what's best for you. That's not freedom, that's enslavement. Absolutely. I always talk about the only thing more dangerous than liberty is the lack of it. Liberty's dangerous, right? You can't control people, and you let them out there and you let them do what they want. And then if they do commit a crime or whatever it is, we hold them responsible. That's another thing that we're not doing either, which is another thing that goes back to the Democratic Party. We're all about these, no bail. They let people go, murderers, rapists.
The looting.
The looting.
They just let them run in and take thousands of dollars
There's
of
no
merchandise.
consequences. We don't hold anyone accountable for anything, and that goes back to the Democratic Party. I really believe that is one of the major issues in this country. Do you have any thoughts on Israel's multi-layer school and hospital protection? Yeah, you know what? I support it. I mean, we have the same issue. It's just not from radical Islamists. So, regardless of what the threat is or the mechanism is, there's the how you secure what's inside of that school or home or structure or anything else. It all comes down to the same. I mean, security is security. You got to be able to detect, mitigate, deter, and react to those threats. So if we work on detection, we work on mitigation and deterrence, and then we work on communication and reaction to it, and denying access. I mean, it's not, security is simple stuff, folks. And the fact that, it's like, there again, it's like the solution is right there. Y'all know it, but you're running around like, oh, this is so complicated. We can't fix it. And it's theater, and it drives me crazy.
Because we don't want to fix it.
The cause might be mental health, but the solution, like you said, Gary, isn't that complicated and hard in the schools. 100%. We humans create hard times for everybody. That's right. Hard men create easy times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. There's just no doubt about that.
We got a couple of comments about the fitness and hair. Shannon says, I need that. My hair only grows where I don't want it to.
Well, that's, the hair growing on your palms is a whole nother issue. That has nothing to do with anything else. What are your gas prices? Where you at? Expensive. Diesel $6 a gallon. I have a 47-gallon tank in my diesel truck, folks.
And we have to have the truck, guys.
Yeah, we got to pull that trailer to
it's not
to the range.
It's not a toy. It's a work truck.
I know. You know what? You know what I love to hear? I love to hear my own arguments for getting the truck come out of her mouth. Look,
and we have to have a truck to pull a trailer.
I got to get this truck.
You didn't have to have that exact one.
We don't need that truck.
We didn't need that.
You can pull it with your back. Hook it up to the four-wheeler. Hook it up to the four-wheeler, it'll be fine.
Yeah, hook it up to the four-wheeler.
Yeah, so at $14 a gallon, 14 miles.
Oh my God,
14,
what are you foreshadowing?
Foreshadowing?
Foreshadowing right now. Oh man.
14 miles a gallon, and then 14 and change when they're towing. And then, so $6 a gallon, 47. Basically, we got to remortgage the house every time I go to fill that
regular is $4.75 though.
Yep.
For the lowest grade. What we got here? Time to get a Prius.
Yep. Tell you what.
Would get a Tesla.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put in an order for a Tesla Plaid or the Cybertruck.
You don't need that.
I used to make fun of the Cybertruck when it first came out. It's grown on me.
It's terrible.
I want one.
It's horrible.
I want one.
I don't know if I'll look at you the same if you drive a
That's
Tesla
all right.
truck.
I want one. Looks like a truck off of Minecraft, but I'm down with it. Values. When we grew up, never thought of doing any of this mess, but this generation
We get our
careless.
ass beat. That's why.
That's true.
Generation is careless and entitled. They are definitely entitled.
That's right. And that does. This also goes back to even disciplining your kids, right? That's another thing that we don't do at the home anymore. And man, it shows, right? It shows. I think a lot of this comes from that. Even if you got two parents in the home, you might as well not have any parents if you're not going to parent. And this is something that Summer and I are, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but when it comes to disciplining our kids, we've always been eye to eye on that. And it's funny, they're older now, they're 8 and 12, so they're still not outside of the realm of getting their butt whooped. But even when they were younger, 3, 4, 5 years old, we go out to eat or whatever it is, and we'd be there with some of our friends that have kids the same age, and their kids are just acting crazy. Like, you just want to leave because the kids can't behave themselves. And then, of course, our kids sitting there being quiet, talking, and we would have so many people ask, Gary, what do you guys do to? It's like we spank their butts. We don't beat our kids. It hurts. Too many parents want to be friends with their kids. You have to be you can't be friends with your kids, right? Not if you want them to be good adults. And we never hurt our kids or abuse our kids or anything like that.
They didn't even get that many spankings. It
No,
was just
when they were like 2 or 3 years old, when they get that defiant, you take them and spank their butt a couple times, and you put the fear of God in them, and you never really have to do it again. But
I mean, even now when we go out, we're somewhere and I'm with the boys, and there's some kids acting stupid or whatever. I'm like, you see how they look? That's why I don't let you act like that. Look how stupid and crazy they look. And they're like, yeah, mommy. I was like, what would I do if you act like that? You would kill us.
but they also take pride in that. They take pride in the fact that when it comes to their behavior, they stand out above the rest. They're not throwing fits. They're not acting like immature little brats or spoiled little brats or anything like that. And today we don't spank anymore, but what I do is we'll take them out there and we'll do some PT. Next thing you know, they're bear crawling around the house. They're running up and down our hill depending on how silly they wanted to get. Because I always tell them, if you're going to be stupid, you got to be strong. So sometimes when they're stupid, we take them out here and they get stronger. I promise you. But it's tough, man. It's hard to discipline your kids. You don't want to do that, but as a parent, it's very heartbreaking. But if you care about them and you want to take some personal responsibility, you got to man up, woman up, whatever you want to call it, and freaking, show a little backbone and let your kids know that you're the boss and this is what is acceptable and what's not acceptable.
And honestly, it gives them that security in their life that they know where authority is, they know what's expected of them, they have the structure, And
they know that we don't make idle promises. Like, look, if you do this, you're gonna get. There's been no counting that 1, 2, bro. You get one chance. Hey, dad or mom said X, Y, and Z. You didn't do X, Y, and Z. We're gonna go do some bear crawls. You're gonna get a whooping. Whatever it is, something's gonna happen. Some bad things are coming down on you, and we only have to tell them once. 98% of the time. That other 2%. That's where bear crawls come in.
They're
Push-ups,
kids.
jumping jacks.
Yep.
Little body squats.
Body squats.
Whatever. Air squats. Whatever. Did you see where the politicians are pushing publish images from the shooting and stuff on the evening news?
I did see where they're already having some of the kids from Uvalde go testify in front of Congress and stuff.
Yeah. It's sickening. It's sickening that they're willing to exploit that situation the way that they are. It absolutely. My Tundra has a 38-gallon tank. It was 120 to fill up.
You don't want to know how much it is to fill up Gary's truck.
Well, it's simple math. $6 times 47.
It's over $250.
It's a lot of money. Almost $300.
I almost have a heart attack every time. The current generation is very reliant on Big Brother to do everything for them. They're perfectly happy to give up freedom to feel like good people. But that's the thing. They don't. If they're really honest with themselves, they don't feel like good people. They don't have any pride in anything they do, and and I think that leads back to the depression and the mental health issues because they don't have any pride of anything they do in their life.
No, I mean they're
because they're not doing anything for themselves. They're letting everybody else take care of everything for them.
And we were at a course the other day, and me and a client were talking about this, and exceptionalism at the performance level. I don't care if we're talking about scholastics, work ethic, whatever we're talking about. What's crazy is that's actually seen as a negative, right? So people actually want to suppress that. And even people that are high performers, they end up having to self-suppress that so that they're not looked down upon. Word English isn't my first language. It's pretty much Espanol, no big deal after being in Ecuador so long. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 days, 14 days. I don't know. Math's clearly not my thing either. So,
oh man.
Yeah, I mean, people, even kind of hold back because they're being an achiever is looked, and we continue to see that. We see that's part of what this hatred towards capitalism is. We want everyone to be paid for mediocrity. It's disgusting to me.
I mean, when I was growing up as a kid, you got an award at school. It was published in the newspaper. Like, it was a big deal. Everybody in town congratulated you. Mm-hmm. And it happened all the time.
There were 6 people in her town.
All 6. But anyway, now you don't see, nobody gets accolades like that anymore. And if they do, it's kind of, like you said, dumbed down so that the people at the bottom that aren't
They don't want to make people that didn't achieve anything feel bad. Which is,
well, then go try harder. Sorry.
Yep.
Anyway.
Quit sucking at life. After that, first making them understand consequences.
Yep.
There are rules.
There is security in knowing where their boundaries are. Exactly.
100%. 100%.
9. What?
Jesus.
Where are you at? I know he's in Europe somewhere, right?
I think he's in Britain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Jesus. Do not pump the numbers up. We do not need to pump the numbers
Yeah.
up.
We have to
Yep.
stop raising kids and start raising adults. Everyone thinks Natalie's older than she is because of how she acts. Absolutely.
Yep. Anyway, now that we've ranted about parenting and
Parenting.
people, get your misbehaved kids.
That's like the one thing I like about having guests. It keeps me on topic stuff, that I don't go off on all these weird tangents. You can't leave me to my own devices, people. What else? What are the questions we have? So first of all, before I go to questions, but be thinking about your questions or comments or whatever else we're going to throw up there. We do have TAC Carbine Level 1 and 2 tomorrow. If you haven't signed up for that and you are local, you need to jump in there and sign up for that. Remember your alumni pricing. Of course, you always get if you take the same course more than once, it is 50% off. We want to make this a lifestyle, right? Coming to a course once doesn't do much for you. You got to get in there and continue to train and to continue to just absorb those concepts and then actually put those into action. I'm working on private security for the Pride event here as a third-party independent contractors for the MPD. Any recommendation for good concealment holster that I can tuck under basketball shorts? So, funny enough, check out the latest video that I just did. Yeah, so, number one, I'm a big proponent of always making sure that any gun that you carry should have a light on, right? You can get into low light situations real quick, even during daylight hours. But again, most of the time that you're going to use, or at least 50-60% of the time, you need a light on that gun because you're going to be in hours of darkness as well as in low light situations, inside structures, whatever they are. So you need a light on a gun, and then you need to be able to conceal that gun. So I just did a video on the SIG XL, SIG 365 XL, with the HoloSun 507K and a holster that goes with it. And I looked. This is separate, a little bit separate there, but I was looking forever to find a holster that would accommodate that smaller gun with a light, with the actual like TLR 7 sub, as well as an optic. Both the optic and the light are going to give you a lot of advantages when it comes to having a gun concealed carry. But long story short, regardless if you have one with a light or not, the point is, the long way around this is I end up finding after lots and lots of hours of research, Warthog holsters out of Arizona. We're a dealer for them now. I have them send me some holsters. I checked them out. I was blown away by the quality of those holsters. Those holsters are on par with anything that I would see twice the price. So Warthog holsters are really, really good. I've been impressed with the quality. You have some in stock. If it's for a gun that we don't have that holster in stock, I would send you right there. The guy that owns it's named Matt. I forgot his last name off the top of my head, but he's a one-man shop for the most part, but just does excellent quality work and is one of those companies that needs a lot more recognition than he's getting. But it's a small shop that is producing some of the top quality holsters out there. And for concealed carry, check out the video. I demo it a little bit. Just showing you that they conceal really well. They're really good. Matter of fact, I got the gun right here. We're clear. But this is their, and I know you're not going to be able to see it too well because I'm not going to come all the way up there with the camera, but this is their carbon fiber. I mean, the fit and finish on this thing is just beautiful. I really like, these come with these metal clips. These metal clips, they're rigid, they're strong, but they have plenty of give to them. You can grab both of them. I love the way they tuck under my belt. They also make them with the foamy clip, the single plastic clip. I'm not a big fan of those. Come off, folks. Every time that we have a concealed carry course, anyone rocking those plastic clips more than once, they go to draw the gun and they come out with a gun in a holster, and that's not the position that you want to be in. Make sure that you are rocking clips that are going to keep that holster attached to your belt. It's embarrassing and deadly when you pull your gun out and your holster is still on there and you can't get to the trigger. So excellent quality. So whether or not you buy those from us or directly from him, I'd point you in that direction. He makes a bunch of different everything with the sidecars, magazine sidecars, I got a holster over there for a Glock 19 and a sidecar inside the waistband holster that I'm going to be testing. I haven't pulled it out yet, but man, just the fit and finish on these is just beautiful. So go support somebody that's not some big company that's putting out underrated work.
He's in Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sweden.
He says I'm using my duty weapon.
What, Glock 19 or Glock 17, I'm assuming. There's no telling. There's lots of different departments putting out.
Roberto said, gun control is not the answer. Mental health is not a new issue. It has been around forever. We have to go beyond to get a resolution.
Yeah, it's not like mental health
It's
is
not
a new thing.
I do feel like there's some new issues with it, though, but that's
There
my
are.
personal opinion.
There are, but there's also
And I think a lot of that goes back to the things we've already talked about.
yeah. So we give kids excuses, right? Everything from he just has ADHD. We need to pump some medicine into him. Not instead of teaching him how to sit there and concentrate on what the heck. I guarantee you, I could have been diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid. I have ADHD now, but you know what? That wasn't acceptable to just say, oh, he has ADHD. He can go around and act like a little jackass all day in class, wherever else, or pump him full of medicine. There's also a lot of good studies that have talked about how almost every single one of these mass shooters were on some sort of, psychotropic antidepressants. So I don't think those are helping either. So we're not addressing the cause, which I think a lot of depression, mental illness, also goes back to not having discipline, not having two-parent home, all of those things that kids need to develop their mind and emotional stability. But then on top of that, we're just pumping them full of medicine. So, and I think there's some disassociative, it allows kids to disassociate themselves from the reality of that. And I think there's some good information there too.
I think that's fed into by social media and
Yeah,
life on the internet too.
And
there's
that's
just a whole.
And that's the other thing. We become so antisocial. We've let kids become so antisocial because of the screens.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yep. What else we got?
He said he's running a G17.
Yep, G17. Yeah, so he makes a really good.
That was a good question, Pierre.
I'm gonna go grab that real quick. Throw up that other question.
Thoughts on the MDT ACC Elite chassis?
MDT ACC
It's not the
Elite.
ACC. It's
No.
the ESS.
Everything that I've seen from MDT has been amazing. I don't have personal experience on that particular chassis at the moment.
What, do you want to grab that holster?
Yeah.
Just saw it laying somewhere.
Here it is right here.
Yeah, when I saw that question, I popped over to see which chassis.
So I'm going to give you guys a little insight into one of the very next videos that we're going to be doing. So we'll talk about the holster in just a
Back
second.
to the fun stuff.
Back to the fun stuff. Oh God. Oh God. If you want to buy this stuff, it's now at a discounted rate. No, so this is we're going to be taking all of these components, because I got this great rifle down here. Watch your feet. Watch your feet. Watch your feet. So, as far as bolt guns go, this is the oldest bolt gun that I have. And it's still a great gun, right? This is a Remington 700P. It has the, HS Precision. This is basically the M24, the civilian version of the M24 that I grew up in the Army shooting on my sniper team. The only difference was it didn't have that adjustable stock. Get rid of that. So what I'm going to be doing is taking this great barrel, this great action, and we're going to be upgrading it to this. So I'm going to be throwing that in there. So now students still have a great 308 that they can shoot, but it's adjustable, because that's one of the biggest challenges is when we put a student on one of these, or even this doesn't fit me perfectly. So I'm always, trying to adjust. That's what's nice about some of these modern chassis is that they're completely adjustable, right? So we can adjust it to the student, we can adjust the comb height, the length of pull, as well as many other adjustments, everything from the length of pull for the trigger. So we're going to be upgrading that with some of the MDT products. So any MDT product, reach out to us. We are MDT dealer, big fan of them as well. And we would love to help with that purchase as well, that you get a good deal on it. Kind of go from there. But I'm actually really excited about getting that rifle upgraded and basically turn it into a chassis gun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. The other thing, folks, and I talked about this in my rifle accessories video, is, you know, even if you have some of these older bolt guns or carbines, making sure that you're throwing an Arca rail on there. That gives you a lot of advantage too. You can attach a lot of different attachments on there. Now you can use the same bipods that you would use on your chassis guns with, you know, your ARs, your older bolt guns. You can buy a $40, $50, you know, Arca rail. We have some over there through MDT. I love their Arca rail and the Arca rail adapter. So you can throw that on there, and now you've upgraded that rifle significantly, and you're not relegated to Picatinny. Picatinny's okay for putting scopes and things, but I'll tell you, it doesn't have the surface area that Arca does to spread that load like the Arca rail does. So Picatinny, you're putting a lot of stress on the forend. You're putting a lot of stress on the components themselves. And Arca does a much better job spreading that load over much larger area. And they're quicker to detach and reattach. So that really helps. This is, I don't remember what the name. So this is for a Glock 19. But this is inside the waistband with that mag sidecar. Again, this is from pulling it out. But everything on here looks great. I'm excited to rock this and see how this will be my, probably my winter gun setup. What other question we have here? Something else.
A few. Just saw a video on long range with the Lilies. The Elite model should be out in the next few months. It's an upgraded ACC.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Arca is a must.
What are you guys using for rangefinders? I'm curious to see that. That's kind of the next thing that I'll be looking to purchase. There's also today's claim disability and give up. Yeah, no, 100%. You know, I think that's part of the problem, is that when you are claiming that you have some sort of mental illness or anything else, it takes a lot of personal responsibility off of you, and you can't help it, right? When probably 90% you can.
Sometimes people don't even want to like get better because
It's true. It gives them the excuse.
gives them an excuse.
And that goes back to even like physical disabilities too, unfortunately.
Yeah. Protean's got Arca rails being built now. Stay
Very nice.
tuned.
Absolutely.
You have to let us know, Kyle.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Kyle here, he is the owner of Protean Innovations with the Protean bipods. We got a video on those. He's been on the live stream as well. I love this dude. He is so innovative, is coming up with such awesome stuff. He sent me some, I won't talk about it, Kyle, but he sent me some some pictures of some prototype stuff. You know, I enjoy knowing him, working with him, and he's got a brilliant mind and is coming up with some really cool stuff. So if you're not following Protean Innovations, make sure you follow him on, I don't know what all platforms are. I know you're on Facebook and Instagram for sure. I don't know if you're on Twitter or anything else. But if you're not following him on there, go check those out. Making some really cool stuff and come up with new stuff every day. Yeah, so Benny Ballistics, I currently have a Sig Kilo. I forgot which model it is. Man, I have not been happy with that. Matter of fact,
using your other cheaper one.
yeah, my Bushnell Elite 1 mile arc, I think that's the model I have. I can lace targets more consistently than I can with that Kilo, that Sig Kilo. I think I'm looking at either the Vectronics. Been looking at getting some. Yeah, so the new Sig Kilo binos are interesting. I think they're coming out with the 10,000. So you should be able to range out to 10,000 yards, which probably means you can probably actually, on a target, probably actually hit something that's not super reflective like a target or an animal at like 2,000. I think my Sig Kilos are good for like supposed to be 3,000. Man, I have trouble hitting targets and getting consistent lasers on stuff at 600, 700, 800 yards, which is pretty disappointing. I'm trying to think of the Vectronics, the name of that. I'll think of that in a second. Leica 2800. Yep, I've heard good things about Leica. I was also looking at the Swarovski binos, but those don't go that far either. Leica's always had some great stuff. I wish they would innovate a little bit more. They were kind of in the game earlier, and I feel like they're getting passed up by some of the stuff out there. So is having a weapon system with Arca on it and not using it a sin? Well, not having a weapon and not using it at all is a sin. should at least be sleeping with it in bed like any respectable man. Got to put that in between the wife and you after some hanky-panky.
He says the SIG's not reliable for him either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard some mixed things about the...
Kyle gets good bounce over a mile on the...
Nice.
Leica.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Leica 2800, and I think they have a new 3500 or something like that. There was another one. I was definitely going down the laser rangefinder rabbit hole the other day, seeing what's out and what's actually coming out.
Yep.
So I'm also excited about, on top of that video that we'll be doing on the MPA, and now I'm showing all my client stuff. I am. That is the great thing about having good clients, is you get to run into stuff that you don't have. So right here we got the Collis 525i that will be mounted on the MPA when we do this video, and I am pretty stoked to check out that. Check this out. So anyways, we'll do a full review on both. We'll try to cover all this stuff. This is the 5-25x56, 525i. I've used some Collis out there. Don't have a lot of time behind them, but I've heard nothing but good things. They're definitely growing in popularity. I find these controls. The controls are very different. We got a left-sided windage turret. We have our parallax up here on the top, just below the our elevation, and then we have our illumination brightness over here. But I do like the idea of this left-handed windage turret, so that we don't have to take our trigger hand off the gun. So we're just reaching up, we're adjusting that. So we can basically do everything from behind the gun with our left hand, and we don't have to come off the gun very much to, but regardless, I'm pretty stoked about getting to try that out and do some fielding of that and do an overall good review. Anybody else out there shooting Collis? And my God, around the wrong people, don't ever call it Kales. They will come after you. I got it.
Just trying to help.
I appreciate it. All right. Anything else, folks? I'll definitely have a little bit more of a planned and organized show next time. Again, we are still kind of catching up from me being gone for a couple weeks, but I definitely didn't want another day to go by without us hitting up a free-for-all Friday and doing another live stream. So even this was kind of cobbled together at the last second, and then we also had other technical problems going on there. But I really appreciate all you guys showing up every single time. And, you know, again, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, make sure that you always know that you can email us. You can even call the business line. But again, Gary@ParamountTactical.com is my personal email, and we'll go from there. Let's see, do y'all sell anything to adapt my Atlas bipod to Arca on my... I would highly suggest, Shannon, that you throw that Atlas away.
We got a nice FC4 with Arca over there.
The best way to adapt that is either throw a Protean Innovations bipod on there, or
they have the Arca ones now,
or the Accutac. Both of those are great bipods. I do think both of those are more stable than the Atlas. Man, again, I know you can make it work, and Atlas are not bad bipods. I don't ever mean to poo-poo on. When it comes to bipods, they're still one of the top tier ones, right? There's no doubt about that. But they do flex a lot. And just our last long range course, the one person with Atlas bipods could not see their target, could not see their own impacts. They were the only ones. And it's because those things flex so much. And a big, heavy gun like that Daniel Defense Delta 5 Pro, you're going to see a lot of flex. And you may not notice at short distances, but I promise you, if you get behind a more stable, stiffer bipod, you'll notice that you'll see your impacts, and you can make much quicker follow-up shots on those rounds. But there are adapters out there. I think 419 has an adapter. MDT may have an adapter. So there's that. But sell that to somebody. Get you an Accutac or a Protean bipod. Both of those are great. Both of those are stiff. Both of those are stable. You'll be happy. What else?
Well,
Now that I crapped all over your equipment, Shannon.
now go load the trailer.
All right, folks. Well, we're gonna shut this thing down. We got a whole course to prepare for and get ready for tomorrow. So we got to go load the trailer, get everything set up. Again, folks, we really appreciate your time. We always appreciate you coming to hang out with us. We really do. And any other topics or anything like that you want us to cover, shoot us some recommendations on there. But you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Stay armed. Stay ready. And we'll talk to you next time.